Hello, Monica here with a 22Social tutorial. This is on how to fully optimize your 22Social app on your business page. Optimize for desktop, mobile, and just overall visibility. So first things first, rule number one, the main important thing you should take away always is to always use the smart link. Whenever you are going to be sending traffic to your 22Social app, always use the smart link. If you do not, this is what people will see on mobile devices. And over 90% of users access Facebook and the internet using a mobile device. So your apps are visible on mobile, but they will not be seen if you don't use the smart link. So the one there on the left is using the Facebook app link, which is the big long link that you get from your browser's address bar. And the one on the right is what it looks like when someone accesses your app using the smart link. So I'm just going to give a little overview on that really quick. A lot of this is covered in the course, but by app link, I'm talking about the address up there in the address bar of your browser. That's facebook.com/your page username/app and then a bunch of numbers. Sometimes the tendency is to just copy and paste that to share the link to your app. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is use your smart link. Now your smart link, when your app is published, can be found right up here next to where it says published. And your smart link is 22s.com/your username and the app nickname, or 22s.com/your account ID and the app ID. So it depends on if you've chosen a username for your vanity link or if you've given the app a nickname. Either way will do here. So if your app isn't published, you won't see that there, but the best place to find your smart link and your app ID to create your smart link is to actually click on the little link icon there on your app dashboard. Never use the app link, the Facebook app link from your web browser's address bar. Always use the smart link. The reason being is that Facebook app links are not mobile optimized, and it's not just 22Social apps, all of them. So none of them are optimized. So if you have, a newsletter app, any type of third party, WooBox, HeyYou, ShortStack, something from Instagram or YouTube where you put in your third party app, even the Facebook ones themselves, they all have that app link at the top in the browser bar. Those links are not mobile optimized ever. So that's not what you want to share. In fact, these third-party apps are not even visible on mobile. So nobody sees this list here if they're viewing on mobile. What they do see is the call to action button and a few of the, regular Facebook tabs there, but those links are not going to be the ones you grab from the address bar on desktop. So what is visible on mobile, though, is the call to action button. And actually, it's very prominent. So that's one of the first things I'm going to go over as far as getting fully optimized for your app, is to make sure your most important app, maybe like a landing page that links to several other of your apps and tabs, you make that the call to action button, because that is visible when someone visits your page on a mobile device. So we're talking about this one right here that says learn more. You can have it say whatever you'd like, but that is your call to action button, and that is viewable on both desktop and mobile devices. Again, your smart link is 22s.com/your account ID/your app ID. So if we were going to take an example, for example, let's just say the account ID is 12345, and you can get your account ID right there. And for those of you who've taken the 22Social beginner course, this whole process is covered in detail in both modules 1 and 3 of 22Social, a beginner's guide. So you build your smart link with 22s.com/your account ID, which you get there, and your app ID. To get to your app ID, you want to click on the little link icon there in your dashboard. That's also where you will assign a nickname and edit it, but if you just want to see the number, click there, and this pop-up will come up. And there are actually several versions of your smart link. There's a vanity link, a permanent smart link, and then just the regular smart link. So we'll briefly go over that here. Like I said, it's covered in detail in the course. But this pop-up here has, up at the top, it'll show the app ID number. And even if I give it a nickname, that number will always be there. So you can create your smart link with either your username or account ID and the app ID. So this one here, if we're going to go with the example, you'll see And at the bottom, it tells you there that there's your app ID as well. The nickname is blank. So your vanity smart link there, if you don't give it a nickname, is just going to be your 22s.com / your username or account ID if you haven't selected a username. And then it'll just add on the app ID number. And then the permanent smart link is below. We'll cover that in the next slide. So if you give the app a nickname, for example, for this one, let's say RSVP, you'll now notice that the vanity smart link is 22s.com, your username / the app nickname. However, no matter how many times you rename your nickname or change it or whatever, the permanent smart link is just that. It's permanent, so it doesn't change. And I would recommend using that or just your regular smart link of all numbers whenever you're using it like in a permanent location, like your email signature or on a business card or something like that, because that will never change. But you'll notice that even if you do give your app a nickname like RSVP, that app ID is still there. 84002 is always going to be there, and you can even copy it there at the bottom. So all variations will work. In this example, if your account number was 12345, your smart link would be 22s.com / 12345 / 84002. That's the smart link for this particular app. The vanity smart link would be 22s.com / your username minus FB tabs / the nickname RSVP. It's a little bit prettier than a bunch of numbers. However, if you ever change the nickname and you link to this, it does not automatically forward. So you'll want to, in permanent locations, of course, use the permanent smart link, which is coded with a combination of letters and numbers that does not change. So that was just an overview. Again, like I said, we get into a lot more detail in the beginner course. So what we're going to cover here is all the places you want to add your smart link in order to fully optimize your app. You want to have it in your call to action button, which is the first thing we're going to go over. You also want it in the description of both your cover image and your profile image. You also want to make sure that your tab position for this app is in one of the first 3 positions, if not the first. And I'll show you how to do that. You want to create a pinned post. So you want to post this smart link to your business page and then pin it to the top. And you'd also want to keep it in the About section, the short description area, and the website area, or both, because that is also visible on the front page of your business page from the viewer side. And for events, for example, let's say this app is like a live hangout or something, and you're creating a Facebook event, then on the event page, you also want to include your smart link in the location, the ticket URL, and also throughout the description, so people know exactly where you want them to go. The event's not taking place on the Facebook event page, it's actually taking place on the app, or you want them to register through the app, or whatever you want them to do. You want to definitely give them instructions for that. So let's get started with the call to action button for desktop and mobile. So the call to action button is that blue button there that says learn more, and it's just below your cover photo when on desktop. And if you haven't created one, you'll see a little different view. I'll show you in a second. But if you have and you want to change it and make sure it links to your smart link of the app that you want to optimize, then you want to click on the little pencil icon there to edit, and then click on Edit button. You'll be shown here, if you had something else in there and you want to change it, here's where you would put your smart link. So right there, you want to write in or paste in your smart link. I like to use the direct link with all numbers, my account number and the app ID number for this example, but you can definitely use the permanent smart link as well. The vanity smart link is, unless you know you're never going to change it, it's not a good idea. I don't usually recommend it. So here, you want to make sure that that's your smart link, and I believe it doesn't even need the HTTP prefix. I think you can just put in www. It works both ways, but try it. Facebook changes from time to time, but I believe at the time of this recording, both options work. It took it either way for me. Click on Save Changes. And if you want to change the type of button, so this would be a Learn More button. Let's say I wanted it to say something else. The way to get to that, if you've already created a button, is to click that back button in front of Save Changes, and it'll take you here where you can see different options. So it'll say choose a button at the top, and you can kind of click on these or hover over them to see the different options. Those are kind of categories there. And they've made some changes to this recently, so definitely check that out. There's some nice integrations with some other apps available for you here on the call to action editing pop-up. Once you select it, then you can go ahead and you'll be back on the screen, and then you click Save Changes and you're all set. It'll tell you that you've updated your button. And again, like I said, if you have not done this yet, what you'll see is a blue button that says Add a Button on desktop. Click on that and you'll automatically be taken to the different options. So here you're going to want to name that button so that it says something, and each category has various options. So the second category here, get in touch with that. If I click on that, it gives me this drop down of different types of buttons for getting in touch with me. So you'll be able to select one. So for example, if I choose sign up, you'll see that now the button at the top will say sign up. It'll redirect me back here. And now I want to enter my smart link, paste that in, and then add the button. So in this example, I'm using the permanent smart link with just the www prefix. Click add button, and it takes it just fine. So now there, my button says sign up instead of add a button, and it will also show up on mobile. So here you've got how it looks on desktop and how it looks on mobile. So definitely want to make sure that that button there, whatever you choose for it to be and what it to say, you want it to link to your smart link. So next we're going to go over the cover image and profile image descriptions. This is very simple, straightforward, but a lot of people miss it. So in your cover photo, you want to just tap on the cover photo and you will see the option here to add a description over on the right if you have not done so. If you have, then just click on edit to change it and make sure that you add your smart link in the description of your photo, because that is clickable on both desktop and mobile, especially if you maybe have an image here that is encouraging people to click. So click on add a description, put in whatever description you want to say, and make sure that your smart link, and that's a redirect I have in there for my smart link. It's just a vanity URL redirect, but that takes people to my smart link. And you also want to make sure that you have it in the first few lines, which is called above the fold, because if you have it farther down in the description, it's not seen right away, and people have to click on see more in order to see the rest of your description. And you don't want to make your visitors have to work to find the button that you want them to click. So definitely put it in the first couple of lines if you can when entering it into your description. So you also want to do this over here on your profile image as well. It doesn't hurt to have it in both places. Both images are clickable on mobile and desktop. So next we're going to talk about the tab position, labeling it and where it shows up. And what I'm talking about is over here, you want it to be in the first 3 positions or the very first one, so that it's over here on the top on the left side. And those, whatever first 3 third-party apps you create and rearrange to show up at the top there will also be shown where the images appear. Now we get into a little bit more about creating and the tabs, labeling them, naming them, editing them, creating custom images in the 22Social beginners course in module 3. So we're not going to get into all that here, but having them in the right order is important. So in order to rearrange the order, over here on the left side, you'll see Manage Tabs. You can also click on Settings up at the top of your page. And when you click on Settings, you then want to click on Edit Page to get to this page here where you can rearrange your apps. Clicking on Manage Tabs, however, is going to take you directly to this page here where you're on the Edit page under Settings. So either way to get here. And this is some new things have been going on here as of late October, early November 2016. So if you're having trouble or you had trouble rearranging your apps, it's most likely due to a bug that was caused by this update. Facebook recently added templates, which is pretty neat. You might want to check that out. But I believe it's officially rolled out to all pages and the bugs should be cleared up and smoothed out. So hopefully that's no longer an issue, but just a little FYI, when Facebook's acting funny, it usually means they're working on something. They're releasing a new feature or an update in the background. Almost always that's an indication of why there are a lot of bugs and that a lot of people experience at the same time. So as you scroll down towards the bottom of the page, you'll see apps listed. So these are the ones Facebook puts on your page, like, videos, events, notes, but also any third-party apps that you have also added. So your 22Social apps and any other third-party apps would be listed here, and you'll be able to rearrange them. You can actually drag them around to put them in the order that you want them to, and it automatically saves. So the one closest to the top is the one that's going to appear just below your profile ID and username on your business page, right after home. Home is the only one you can't move, but you can move all of the other ones around in any order that you'd like. So you can continue to scroll down to see all of them, and just bring the three main ones you want, especially the one you really want to optimize, the one you want most of the traffic going to, the one that's in your CTA, your call to action button. Definitely want that to be, if not the first position, at least the first three. So when you place it towards the top, it's visible here on the left, and it's also visible here on the right. Now that can be clicked and people can go through and see all of them. It used to be you could only see the first three. You can now see them all, but they have to actually click on the little more toggle to go through that. But these apps, again, remember, the third-party ones, they're not visible on mobile, so you definitely want to make sure that the most important one is linked in that call to action button. And you can also rearrange these here. So you can click on the little edit button there, and you'll be able to rearrange these and manage the section. So what I'm talking about, manage sections, it actually applies to all the sections that are on the right side of your business page. So all of these over here and further down, like pages that that you've liked as your page, and visitor posts and things like that. So when you click on manage sections over here, you'll actually get a little pop-up that'll let you drag to reorder those sections on the right side as well. So like I said, your apps, which is the ones in this example, but also visitor posts, other pages that are liked by your fans, and pages that you've liked as your page will be here. So just make sure you put apps, drag it to the top so that those little app icons and little tabs are visible. Okay, the next thing you want to do is make a post on your page and then pin it to the top so that it's visible. So you want to go like you're going to make a regular status update and put in some information about your, whatever your app is and whatever your event is or whatever you're trying to draw traffic to, and make sure that it includes your smart link. So this will bring in the Facebook preview image, which is, we're not covering that in this video, but you want to make sure that your Facebook preview is also optimized. It's the right size, it's branded, it has some information on there, and looks good when you're posting your smart link. In this example, I'm using my vanity URL redirect, but either works too. If you put in a smart link here, I've got the smart link 22s.com fb/tab/live, as opposed to what I had before, monogrammos.tv/live. Both go to the same smart link. Now you may see a pop-up like this to create an offer. Sometimes that does pop up when you're posting about a link. So I would just say you could close this out by either clicking on the X up in the upper right corner or clicking on Not Now, just to get back to your post. And what you want to do is publish it. So click below to publish your post or schedule it if you're going to post it later. But you also want to make sure if you do schedule it, this is why I recommend just publishing it when you're ready to publish. Because as soon as it's published, so you want to actually go and find your post and look for the little drop down caret there in the upper right. If it's really far down on your page and you're having trouble finding the post you just made, like it's below your events and other videos and all these other things, it could be that it's because your posts tab over here on the left side is the below some of the other Facebook tabs. So like here I have posts below videos, and I think if you scroll up a little bit, you see events and about. Those are all Facebook apps. So Facebook is going to have those first. So you want it to be the first Facebook tab in the list, not necessarily the first third-party app, but just the regular Facebook ones. You want it to be first, so just click on Manage Tabs and drag posts up a little higher so that it's before anything else. Otherwise, you're going to be dragging down this section or scrolling down in this section just to find your post, and you want people to see your posts right away. So make sure it's moved up to the top, first in the list among the other apps that Facebook creates for you. So then once you have your post there, that little drop down caret there, you want to click on that and select pin to top of page. Pinning it to the top of the page, then it has this little pin icon there. It makes it all the way to the top, so it's the first thing. So even if I post something after this, this will remain as the first app on my page always. And it'll be identified there with a little pinned post. And it'll stay there until you remove it, or it gets replaced by pinning another post. So you can only pin one post at a time. If you select another post and make it pinned post, it will just unpin this one and make that new one the pinned post. But if you just want to, like, your event's over, or, the moment has passed, maybe it's a special sale or something, and you just want to come back and unpin it, the process is the same. You're going to click on that little drop down caret and then select unpin from top of page. So lastly, I want to go over, before we just cover events quickly, is the About section, where you have your short description and also where you can place your website. So here you want to click on the About tab over on the left side of your page to get to this section here where page info is at. If you're not seeing page info, it should default to page info. Then just make sure you select it there and towards the center there. And in page info, you're going to have a short description, and then as you scroll farther down, you'll also have a section for where you can enter your website. And I'll show you how that looks on the front page. But here you want to, if you have room, because there's only 155 characters in the short description, you may want to add your smart link there. And it's not as necessary as it used to be, because the short description used to be right under your profile picture on the left side of the page, right below your image. It's still very prominent on the front of the page for visitors to see when they come by. And the short description as well as the long description here, a lot of the content in your About section is crawled by search engines, so it is still important. Make sure it's keyword rich. But for visibility, if you have room in the short description, I believe you only get 155 characters. You want to put your smart link in there if you can. In this example, I don't have it. However, I do also recommend, if you don't put it there, to add it to your website. So if you scroll farther down, you'll find the section where you enter, like your address, phone number, and then one of the sections says website. You can put your smart link there. Now, if you hover over the little question mark there, it'll tell you how many characters, and it says there that it appears just below your profile picture. So that's kind of outdated, because in the new layout it doesn't. So let's talk briefly about what your page looks like to visitors, because the way we see it is not what the viewers see. So we see a lot of stuff that isn't visible to the public. We see a lot of editing icons, like the little picture icon to change your cover photo, and pencil icons to edit your CTA button. We'll get page tips and different page stats about, how our page is doing. If you have any scheduled posts coming up or any draft posts. So a lot of this stuff the public doesn't see. So if you want to see what your business page looks like to the public when a visitor comes by, up here at the top where you see more, click on that little drop down and select View Page as Visitor. What that's going to do is show you what your page looks like to a visitor. Up at the top, it'll show a little message that says, this is what your page looks like to a visitor, with the option to switch back when you're done. But you'll notice here that that pinned post I have now is right there at the front. Very top post that you see there. Your short description and your website, your info about your page is right there also. So that's what I'm talking about if you want to add your smart link to either the short description in your About section, or in the website field of your About section, or both. That could be a good idea for you. And then again, at the top, it just tells you that this is what your page looks like to a visitor. And then you just click on switch back to your view. You can also just refresh the browser and you'll be back to your normal view as an admin. Okay, so events. If you are promoting an event like a live hangout or a some type of webinar or series where you may create a Facebook event page, and you want to optimize that for maximum exposure, you can do that as well. So on the Facebook event page, when you create an event, there are several places you should be putting your smart link, and that is the location of the event, in the ticket URL, even if it's not, you're not charging, there's a spot for that if you're using your business page. In the description, so as you're talking about the details, you want to put it there. I like to list it several times to remind people where they need to go to register. And if you can, you may even want to put it in the graphic that you create as your cover photo image, like I do there for my live events. So just make sure that if you do have an event, you look into these places. You can go in and edit them by clicking on the edit symbol there, or when you first create an event, you'll see this pop up here, asking you to input all this information. So you want to put your smart link as the location, and you also want to make sure that you include it throughout your description. And as you scroll down, you will also have an option to put it in tickets. So, and under the tickets section, there'll be a spot for ticket URL. If this is like a ticketed event, now mine's not an event, but it's just another place to have the link. And if you want, you can even check the box that says free admission, so that you're indicating that you're not charging for the event, but there is a place where you want them to go to at least register for free, if that's how your event is set up. So just want to make sure if you're doing this, where you can also, just have a little bit more exposure for your smart link and get people over to your app. So let's look at this all together. These are the elements or ingredients of a fully optimized 22Social app on your business page. You want to make sure that you include the smart link in the description of your profile picture and cover image. You want to definitely make sure that your call to action button is linked to your smart link. That is probably the most important one, because it's visible on mobile, as well as the cover and photo images are. So I wanted to make sure that was very clear. You also want to label and position it in the top 3. That way it shows up over here towards the top, just under the page name and your profile image, and then over on the right side as well, where the tabs are. So make sure you have everything in the right position, visible, branded, looking very nice. You also want to create a pin post. So make a status post, include your smart link in that post, and then go back and make it a pinned post and pin it to the top of your page. And it also would be helpful if you go into your About section and include the smart link in your short description and possibly even your website link. So that does it for how to fully optimize a 22Social app on your business page. Thank you for watching, and if you'd like more video tutorials, check out monicaramos.tv/learn22. And once a month I do a free live Q&A, and it doesn't have to be regarding 22Social. It's basically anything you want to do with Facebook to grow and monetize your home business using Facebook, then you can ask and I will answer. So hopefully I see you on the next live Q&A. And again, thanks for watching.